Now it's time to move to a discussion about the bass line. The construction of the bass line is a subject that is sometimes neglected in contemporary church music, but the bass line is a line. Now, it's not always a truly melodic line. Sometimes it's very static. But a really good player is always going to carefully construct the bass line using inversions when appropriate to create smooth voice leading and variety. One more thing before we jump in. This may seem a little unnecessary because I know that you're mostly playing from the chords that you've been given, so why do you need to actually understand inversions? Well, it's for the same reason that we discussed chord functions in 6.2 and 6.3. You want the knowledge and the tools to be able to create your own charts and to improve the charts that you've been given. And the first place that you're going to start is the bass. So let's begin with a basic discussion of inversions. We played some inversions in one of the beginning videos, but I want to dig in a little deeper. So you've got a chord, a C chord with the root, the third, and the fifth. You want to ask the question, which member of the chord is in the bass? If the root of the chord is in the bass, then it's a root position chord. If the third of the chord is in the bass, it's a first inversion chord. If the fifth of the chord is in the bass, it's a second inversion chord. Here's an important phrase to remember. Inversions are used for variety and for smooth voice leading. Inversions are used for variety and for smooth voice leading. We're going to begin with a discussion of first inversion chords. Now here's an example of inversions that help create a smooth bass line. I'm going to play the power of the cross, but I'm going to play it with root position chords only, and I'm going to sort of overemphasize the bass. So, and I'll also play the melody as well. Okay, so the bass motion there, I tried to not play it in an unmusical way. I didn't want it to go out of my way to make it sound bad, but you notice that the bass line it just didn't feel right, and you might not even know the words to describe it, but it just wasn't very interesting. Well, the reason why is because the bass motion was not smooth. It felt choppy. It didn't necessarily feel intuitive. The bass wasn't treated well. It wasn't treated as a line, as a melodic line. Now let me try it with some inversions. Now, you saw that I merely used a series of first inversion chords to create smooth voice leading. Now, it immediately makes the construction of the piece like this. Do you see how these two voices, the melody and the bass, now function together? They move together in a beautiful and a fluid motion that is smooth, that agrees well, and so as a result we get this. You see how I only used first inversion chords to smooth out the bass motion, to make it move in a way that treated it like a melody. It's like I was treating it and giving it the same importance as the melody. Here's kind of a general principle. First inversion chords often mean that the bass is going to resolve up by a step. Not always, but often. If you have a first inversion chord, the next chord usually is going to mean the bass is going to move up by a step, but not always. So here's another example. I'll go to the chorus, and I'll play the chorus with just root position chords. play it with inversions. Not C, but C over E. See that how it resolved up by a half step? And now not a G, but a G over B. Now watch this, D over F sharp. C over E. Resolving up to F. Again. And every time, at least in this section, every time this first inversion chord appears, the bass resolves up by a half step. Again, that's not always going to happen, but that's just a good general principle. So, first inversion chords are a great way to make a smooth bass line. Remember, by the way, when you're playing a first inversion chord, the third of the chord is in the bass, so leave it out of the right hand, which is called doubling the third, which you generally want to avoid. Okay, it's your turn. Play the 1, the 1-6, that means the first inversion of the 1, and the 4, the 1, the 1-6, and the 4, and then play the 5, the 5-6, and the 1 in the following keys: G, D, E, and B flat. Okay, let's play the 1, the 1-6 to the 4 in the key of G. So here's G. Now the 5, the 5-6 to the 1. Now the same progression, the same two progressions in the key of D. Here's the 1, 1-6, and 4. And the 5, 5-6 to 1. Now the key of E. I use some different voicings here, but and finally the key of B flat.